Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. My name is Georgia, for those of you who are new. And to my regular subscribers, welcome back. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss my future uploads. So as you could tell by the title, we are going to do a recap and a review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 4, titled Blaque Exploitation. So remember, in season 3, we left off where the ladies were still at the spa, and we had Keke and Tiffany talking, or trying to have a conversation. It got kind of heated. So now we see where Tisha gets up and she gets between Keke and Tiffany. She's actually holding Keke's face and telling her that this is not the time or the place for this. We are trying to relax. We're trying to have a Zen moment. We're trying to have a spa day. So Stormi decided that she's going to take on the fight. And she was going at Keke, telling Keke, like, if you heard me or saw me saying something that wasn't appropriate, why didn't you stop me? You should have told me to shut up. Of course, she used the, expletive term. And at this point, Tisha is still trying to get her to calm down, but she kept going and she kept ignoring Tisha. So Mel is like, you know what? This is my time to exit, because this is not what I'm here for. She said, she figured it was a nice, relaxing day. She's trying to come back with the ladies, but all this drama she can't take. And of course, production being messy as they are, they run back a clip from, I think, season 1 or 2 when her and Kimmy and Tisha was at a spa and they got into it. And I believe Mel said something and Kimmy was like, take a look in the mirror. so they had that part, they run that back. But Mel was like, no, I'm not going to do this. So she got up and she went and she changed. She came back to the room. She told the ladies, thank you for inviting me and stuff like that. And I hope you guys have a better day, but this is not the way I expected the conversations to be going, and therefore I'm going to exit. And Stormi said to her, I think we're doing good. You may not like this form of dialogue, but I think we're doing good. So Mel looked right through her, and she was like, anyway, Tisha, thank you for inviting me, and I will see you guys soon. And she left. You see the camera's following her. She's walking out. She's like, no, ma'am. Nope, this is not it. I'm here for peace. I'm here for tranquility. This is not what I'm here for. So then we go back to the room, and Tisha was like, so guys, do you think that we're actually getting somewhere with our conversation? And most of the ladies agree, but we have Keke saying, I'm not seeing any resolve. So we all know that Keke's going to come with it again. Maybe she needs to do like a one-on-one with everybody who she has a gripe with, or who have a gripe with her. But Keke was like, I'm not seeing any resolve. So we left them there at the spa, and we have the guys at the batting cages. So Martel brought the guys together. He said, just do some workout and just to catch up and stuff. We had Maurice arriving first. We had Maurice arriving first. Of course, he's ragging on Martel about his daddy hoochie shorts, as he called him. He's like, it's cold outside. Why you wearing them short shorts? He's like, but we inside, no big deal. Then the phone rings, and Martel didn't pick up. He looks at it and he puts the phone down, and then he says to Maurice, it's Sheree. So Maurice was like, so you're not gonna answer? He said, no, she knows I'm hanging out with the guys. She knows what I'm doing. It's okay. And then so Maurice is asking him, so you think that's the one or what? So he found a way to shake it off. He didn't really answer his question. And at the same time, we had Marsau coming in, and they start swinging the bats and just working out and stuff. And somehow they got on the conversation about Marsau's dad, how he was at the age of 28. He was the father of 8 kids, and somehow he made it work because they didn't know they were poor until they actually reached high school. So I'm not sure exactly why that conversation came up. I think it's the fact that Martel was talking about, having to take care of 4 kids financially. But as we all know, he's not doing that. Mel made it known that he's not helping out or, doing what he's supposed to. But they were talking about that, and just talking about having to be the protector and the provider. They just kept, talking about that stuff. But we leave the guys at the ball field. We weren't there very long. We didn't have Lewis with them because Marsau said that Lewis was out of town, and that's another reason why they didn't have the workout at Lewis's gym, because the gym was Lewis was not there. Now we get back to the office, and we have Marsau and Geno. We have Marsau, and then Geno arrives, and they start talking about, the projects that they have on the table. Currently, Marsau goes in the confessional, and he's talking about him having the credentials and Geno having the experience. So he likes working with Geno because Geno brings the experience of working with a large corporation to this company. And as a partner, they feel that they could work well together to scale the company and make it a large one. So they're talking about the project that's currently on the table, or some of the projects. And he said, at the moment, we're going to pull a salary from this project, and at the end of it, we'll do a fee or a profit split towards the end. And they started talking some more as far as, the wives and stuff. And to Geno's point, he says, you really need to involve Tisha in what's going on in the business, because we're going to need like a person to actually overlook the paperwork and come to us with an impartial, decision. She'll have an input of, of how things are, and she could actually tell us if it's a good project to go after and stuff. So you need to involve her. So Marsau tells him that he'll tell Tisha the good parts. However, when things go wrong, he won't involve her. And to Geno's point, he said, no, you need to involve her, because right now you're supposed to be raising wolves, not sheep. So in other words, he's telling him, let her be there for the good and the bad of everything. Let her be involved in everything that's going on, because then she'll know how to handle it. So if you get hit by a bus tomorrow, she will know to jump in and know what to do. You're treating her like a sheep, and you kind of herding her and protecting her from the bad elements, but she needs to know everything that's going on. So I guess it took Geno for Marsau to realize that, he needs to make Tisha more involved in the business and not to protect her so much. So Marsau's like, yes, you gave me a lot to think about, so I need to think about this. So we leave them there, and then we head over to Kimmy, Tisha, and Mel. So Kimmy is at her offices, and she invites Tisha over to show her a space that she could use for her office until her office is done, because right now she's working out of cafes and coffee shops and stuff like that. And she's like, it's not right that Marsau put her out of her office. So here's a space that we have that we're not using, that maybe, you could use for your office. It so happens to be a space that was being used by Maurice for his podcast. I didn't even know that Maurice had a podcast out there. And apparently right now he's not on it as much. So, or maybe he could do his podcast from somewhere else in the building. So Kimmy is giving her that space to use. Now, while they're there and talking about, catching up on what happened at the spa date, Kimmy's like, thank you for putting the spa date together, even though it was going to go left for a minute. I still appreciate you bringing all the ladies together. The fact that you invited Melody and she readily accepted your invitation and she showed up. I think we should keep the momentum going. And then we hear a knock at the door, and we see Mel come in. We see Tisha take a sip of her coffee through her straw. And one thing I noticed is that Mel actually hugged Tisha when she came in, because when she went to the spa date, that didn't happen. Well, they didn't show that part. Maybe she did hug her, but they didn't show. We just saw her handing her a glass of champagne. But in this case, she came in and she gave Tisha a hug. She brought lunch for everybody. And they were sitting talking about how, they're the core group. And it just feels so good for them to be back together as far as trying to work back their way together. And after Kimmy gave her speech, she asks, so where do you think we went wrong and how can we fix it? And Mel was like, there was some level of disrespect on all parts, and I think it just got out of hand. And so for that, I'm gonna put together a tea party, and we're gonna have someone come and show us how to focus on etiquette. So the ladies were on board with that, and then Tisha told them both that she is planning a Black Business Expo, and she wants them to sit down and meet as far as, going over how they're going to go about it. So they had a nice little chat, and then Mel got up to leave. So now we have Marsau and Tisha at home. Tisha is, putting together the presentation, but she said her computer is down. And Marsau was like, well, my knee is hurting me. First of all, he brought her breakfast. He brought her breakfast to the bedroom. That was cute. He's trying to do, I don't know if it's something he does all the time, but that was nice of him. And then he's telling her that his knee is hurting, so he has an ice pack on it. So Tisha was like, anyway, the questions that we're going to talk about at the Black Business Expo, let's just have some prep questions going. They did that for a little bit. And then Marsau told her that he had a meeting, he had a talk with Geno at the office, and he went over everything that Geno spoke to him about. But of course, he made it seem like I came to the realization that this should happen. But this is after Geno pushed it on, like, dude, involve your wife more in things, because I wish I had involved my ex-wife. So he's basically telling you, stop treating her the way you're treating her before you lose her. So he told Tisha that, going forward, he is going to have her more involved in the business and stuff like that. And Tisha was, overcome with emotion. She was like, this is where I've been wanting to get to for the longest time, and you're finally here. So I am so happy that, we are having a breakthrough. And they hugged and kissed, and that was that scene. Now we are at the Black Business. Now we're at the Black Business Expo. We see everyone arrive. We see Maurice and Kimmy arrive first, like they always do. Then Martel, then Nell, then Tisha and Marsau. Tisha tried to have a little chit chat. They chit chat, and Tisha tried to have a little chit chat with Mel. She's like, "Oh, you look beautiful. Where you going after this?" And Mel is like, "Well, girl, it's called being happy." So she is throwing it out there for Martel. Martel is there in his tight suit. I don't know. This man's suit gets tighter and tighter, and he just keeps bulking. But they sit down. She gives her presentation, but there's still a lot of questions on the table. So they give the presentation, they applaud, and now they want to have a toast. So Kimmy in the confession is like, what are we toasting to? I'm not sure. So of course she brings it back to the table. She's like, I have questions. No, first Melody had questions. So Melody asked, so what are we paying? What's the budget we're working with? What are we paying our speakers? What are the fees for speaking? So you hear Martel whisper to Maurice, ask her what her fee is. And Mel, of course, heard that. So he whispered mad loud, like, come on. If the cameras pick that up, she heard that across the room. So Mel said, don't ask me what my fee is, because that's none of your business. That's none of your business, but I'll definitely shoot you an email, Tisha, or one of my assistants will shoot you an email to what my fee is. So Tisha was like, well, we weren't planning on paying anybody to speak. We want to have a free event because, it's to help the community. So if we're going to pay people to speak, now we're going to have to charge a fee. And we may not get as many people come out because now it's not a free event. So Mel was like, okay, I understand. So I believe it was Kimmy who said, so what's your marketing plan? How are we going to let the community know what's going on? Marsau was like, well, we're going to post it on our social media pages, and we were hoping that you guys would do the same to get the word out. And Mel comes around again. So what do you pay per post? Everybody was taken aback. Martel had this grin on his face, or this chuckle that he does. And Mel get in confessional. She's like, listen, even though Tisha and I are trying to get back on a good page, we are not there yet. And I will not be doing a free event for her. So, you know what? She's going to have to pay for posts. She's going to have to pay for speaking. And then we have Tisha said to Mel, we may not be able to afford you. So you may not be a part of this event. So Marsau, so listen, we're putting this out there for you guys. And we want to see who's willing to come out and help. Remember, it's to help the community. And so Mel says, well, you could have sponsorships, which is true. She is right in everything she's saying. She's telling you right up front, so you're not even guessing that she does not work for free. She gets paid a fee for speaking engagement. She gets paid fees for making a post. So therefore, if you want to work with me, this is what it's gonna be. And Kimi on the back end says, so what if you get like a $10,000 sponsorship from a company? Who is going? Is it Marsau and Tisha who that is going to be for, or is it for us? She's like, and also, is this a Marsau and Tisha event, and then we're supposed to show up, or is this a group event? Like, exactly what do you want us to do? I'm still kind of confused. And she's right. Tisha didn't have it later, and Tisha said, you are right. This is an initial meeting to see, put everything on the table. We may have to go back to the drawing board and see what else we could look at and make sure that we cover all the bases. But at the moment, we're expecting this to be a free event. If there's any cost that's going to be incurred, we would pick up the cost. This is what Marsau is saying. We would pick up the cost of anything that happens. However, we're not expecting to pay the speakers for speaking. She's like, this is the first one of this we're doing. We might take it across the country and have different speakers at different times, but we were not looking to pay people to speak. But I do agree with Mel. There are a lot of people who want to be sponsored. This is a well-known show. They're a well-known group. If they approach certain companies that have to do within their field, like Tisha says, they have a mortgage company, they have the lounge, and they have different projects going on. We have Mel with her skincare line. We have Mel with her clothing line. We have Mel with her baby care line. We have Mel with her project renovation, or I forget what it's called. She has that going on. We have Kimi with their title company. We have Maurice being an attorney. So there's a lot. They have together as a group. The only person who ain't got nothing going on is Martell. Woo! So them as a group, they could garner a lot of sponsorships that will help to put on a bigger event, still make it free for the general public, yet their speakers will still get some sort of funding. And even so, if they don't choose to take a fee, the speakers could put the money back in a pot where they may be able to set up some sort of grant to help people who want to come into business, and therefore that way they could help them get a kickstart going. So yeah, that's where it was with them. Mel was like, if Kimmy don't come on and pick up this glass so we could toast so I could get the hell out of here. Melody is about popping up the season. She's like, by the time she gets there, she's ready to go. As soon as she gets in for all the events so far, as soon as she gets there, she's ready to go. Melody's like, all right, I'm here. Let me do this. Let me move on with my day. I got other things that's making me money out there. You people are wasting my time. So that's where the episode ended. The comeback group, as Kimi says, is pitching an idea to the original comeback group. Oh my gosh. This is hilarious, the way they're going. But honestly, I like the fact that Tisha is focusing on the community, which is what we originally started in season 1. This is where it started, where they were coming together to do projects to help the community. And Tisha is trying to get the focus back there. There is no arguing happening in front of the camera, but we all know that Mel and Martell have their things going on in the courts. But they're not bringing it in front of the camera, which is good. So now we're able to focus on them as a group, and all the attention is not just going to Martell and Melody. So that is my recap and my review, guys, of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 4, titled Blaque Exploitation. So I'm looking forward to the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share if you care. And until next time, be sure to take care of yourself and your families. Bye-bye.